Hello and welcome to another edition of the Prose Bros Visit Sunnydale. I am Geoff.
And I am Eddie Cruz.
And today we are doing episode 13 of season 2.
Surprise!
It's a surprise for several things, right, Eddie?
Yeah, because I have no idea. I don't remember this episode at all.
Can I tell you what I remember?
Yeah.
So I remember it's Buffy's birthday.
Okay.
And
surprise. Okay, that makes sense.
And she loses her virginity.
Okay, at the very end of this one, that's when that happens.
And if I remember correctly, the last shot, or one of the last shots, is on Angel's face, and it's like a weird. He's making a weird face, right?
He's like sweating, right? See, I remember that, but I didn't remember that was this episode. And at the end of it, he's like outside, like Michael Jackson, like going, "Oh!" But he's just drenched and glistening
because something's going on. I don't think they get to it this episode. I think we get to it next. What's going on with him after he gets his rocks off?
Nice. Okay. Well, yeah. I literally don't remember anything else about this episode. I remember that part.
Do you remember who wrote or directed it?
Oh, Joss Whedon and Marty Noxon. I didn't really remember that. I looked that up.
I was gonna say, do you remember that because we just looked it up? Cool. Yeah. Anything else? Do you remember liking it?
No, I don't remember liking. Oh, I guess at the end of this, the curiosity of what was going on was a pretty big deal. Also, like the fact that Buffy had sex with Angel was like, I think I masturbated to that idea for a couple of weeks.
That's weird.
Vampire sexiness.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like Twilight. It's not weird.
I also remember him being like naked except for that long leather coat he wore. He didn't take that off, right? He kept that on the entire time.
I just said that this was like Twilight. I didn't mean that.
There's some similarities.
Yeah,
I remember liking it.
Oh, right on. Yeah. Heck yeah. I remember being enthralled at this point. And like this is where I started watching the show kind of like religiously. Like if I missed it, I was really bummed out.
Because this is like a major thing. This didn't happen in shows a lot.
Yeah, it didn't happen in shows. Also, like, this is where it hooked me. You know, that's where, I mean, I watched the whole first season, but I wasn't, like, if they had canceled it after season 1 at that point, I would have been like, it's just another show they canceled after one season.
Yeah.
But after season, like, by this point, I was like, I'm in.
Cool.
Yeah.
You want to go watch the episode?
Let's go watch the episode.
Let's do it.
In every generation, two Prose Bros are born. Chosen to watch every episode of Buffy and tell you what they think about them. This is the Prose Bros Visit Sunnydale. Season 2.
So, surprise, Eddie. How do you like it after watching it? Same as before?
It started out pretty strong. Way too much kissing. I would say that
a lot of kissing.
Yeah, I think they made up for like the lack of kind of kissing scenes, or at least long ones throughout the first season. And they just threw them all in the second season.
They've been wrapping it up the last several episodes. Like, what was it?
With smoochies.
Yeah.
Through the window and all that other stuff. Yeah. It definitely, when I think about Buffy, I think, the first season sucked. The second season was all romance. And then the third season's where I start loving it. But I do have to say that I do like the second season a lot more than I remember liking it.
I'm kind of, I was going to say I'm torn, but I'm not torn. It's just, this is the element, the whole, like, smooching. By the way, wet kisses, as far as, like auditorially it goes, obnoxious, too much of that.
Yeah.
But what I really didn't like about the second season was, I think the first part, all the build to the romance.
But I was totally into it the first time I watched it. Like, the romance and all that stuff was great when I first watched it. I think it's upon going back to it, because it is hard to watch that much smooching.
I wouldn't say I like it a little better now, but even back then I was like, it's too much. Kissing. Ew.
No, back then I was all like, yeah.
You were rock hard for it.
Fucking boner patrol. Yeah, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, it was good. I like definitely where they're going. The reveal at the end is fucking great. There's some good parts, but ultimately, like we said, 2-parter. Maybe it could have been done in one. Who knows?
I don't think it could have been done in one. I think it had to be a 2-parter. In
Maybe.
my opinion. Yeah.
So what happens?
Well, it starts off with a dream sequence, and we all know those are really important, right?
Yes.
So Buffy is walking through, I guess, a party, and she goes up to Willow, and Willow's speaking Latin to a monkey. Drusilla's behind her. Like, it starts out in her house, and then she's walking.
They're at the Bronze, right?
And she walks into the
Because
Bronze.
where else would it be?
So Drusilla's right behind her.
Could I say this?
and then-
Not even in her dreams does she have that big of an imagination. She can only think in her dreams as far
about
as the bronze.
Yeah. And they use the bronze later in a really fucking stupid way. Basically, she does the weird dream thingy. I would like to know what Willow said to the monkey, because I'm sure that has a lot to do with the plot. Then she sees her mom. Her mom's holding a coffee cup with one of those little, like, pointless plates that you put the coffee on in case you spill a little bit of coffee. I'm guessing that's what that's for.
I think so.
She drops that and she goes, "Are you ready, Buffy?" Obviously referring to her virginity.
Yeah,
Like
ready to
having
become
this-
a woman.
Yeah. It's just like a plate being broken on the floor.
Ugh.
So Drusilla kills Angel in the dream, and he reaches out to her and turns into. And Buffy wakes up and she's like, "Ah, no, my angel! Oh my god, mi amor!"
Exactly like that. Can I
Exactly
talk
like
about this dream a little bit? Not exactly this one, but I think it's something about Joss Whedon that he really likes these dream sequences, and I think he's still trying to make it good, and he didn't do it in this episode, at least just with this one. Later on in the series, he does one. There's even a full episode. It's I think it's the season finale of episode 4. Mm-hmm. It's all a dream sequence, and that's done way better.
Well, of course.
But he's just still trying, and for me, it didn't work.
I think it worked. I don't think it was as important to the plot the way, like, the one with Faith talking about Dawn later on. That one's, like, probably the best one. Like, is that what the one you're referring to? Like, he kind of nailed it on that one, I think.
I thought it was the one right after they kill Adam.
Okay, that yeah.
And it's all about the first Slayer.
Yeah, that one's really cool when they all pass out.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you got to start somewhere. And I think as far as that goes, there's little bits of, like, foreshadowing in the dream. And I like the fact that it doesn't make sense and makes sense.
Okay. I mean,
yeah.
I guess
but
better than
definitely
season 1.
Better than season 1. Definitely not as good as season 4. But I would also just describe all of season 2 like that. So after the dream sequence, Buffy goes and meets everybody. Oh, she goes to Angel. And she's just crying about this dream all. Like, it seems like the first half of this episode is just like, I had this horrible dream where I lost my love, Angel. She goes up to Angel and she's all like, she killed you in the dream. And he's like, chill out, bitch. And he didn't say that at all. He would never disrespect her like that.
Well, I also think the dream is a big metaphor. Like, they talk a little bit about taking their relationship to the next level. Mm-hmm. And really, she's worried that she's going to lose her virginity, give this guy her virginity, and he's going to disappear, which I don't know if that's like a big thing with girls, teenage girls. I assume so.
I didn't really see that in the dream.
I just think it's the fact that he's dying in the dream. She said in one of the next scenes she wants to progress the relationship and basically go to Bone Town. And
the big leagues.
Yeah, the big leagues. And I think this idea of him dying isn't death. It just means he's going away. So she's worried about him going away.
She's worried about losing him.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And it might be in correlation with going to the big leagues.
All right. Right on. He is staked,
Yeah.
Penetrated.
Yeah. She's gonna peg him.
That's what every woman should do the first time.
Go big or go home.
So she talks to him about a couple of things. She talks to him about another dream that she had where she opens an office supply store with Giles. And I thought that was just really funny because that's a funny fantasy to have like a really mundane existence like that be your fantasy.
She didn't even say it was a nightmare.
No,
like,
she's
this dream where
Angel's like, what else did you dream about? And she's like, I had this dream where that happened. And he didn't even fucking say like, why the hell are you dreaming about that?
He's just not interested in her.
That'd
her
be
thoughts
funny
or ideas.
if her dream was the show The Office. So and they just tied it all together.
So what is like she Pam and he's Jim?
No, she just dreamed the whole thing.
Okay.
Like she's not even a part of it. She's like she's the god of that world.
Okay.
She's the person they're talking to when they have the interviews.
Oh, that's a neat idea.
That'd be horrible. It's a horrible idea.
I'm going to rewatch The Office just with that in mind.
And then they have that sick makeout sesh. The first one.
The first one.
Yeah, just like, like they're eating like sushi or something.
Is that how you eat? I would say eating like noodles, but in a sloppy way. Who eats like that?
Yeah, I don't.
If you don't have manners.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just Slurpee.
I don't want to call anybody out. Be like Mongolians, no.
Well, I thought you were going to name a specific person. I didn't realize you were going to call a race out.
Tupac Shakur like that. Willow tells Buffy to fuck Angel.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. They have the conversation of like, hey, are you going to fuck Angel? And she's like, what do you think? And she's like, I think you should fuck Angel. And she's like, all right, well then I'll probably fuck Angel.
But it's all veiled in this kind of like, oh, I think I'm like,
I'm ready.
I'm ready for this. It's not like a conversation between two dudes like, hey bro, you think it's time, bro? Oh bro, past time.
Oh,
all
bro.
right, bro.
I'm a brown banana, bro. That's horrible. All right, so then I wrote down right here, Geoff looks disgusted as Willow and Oz set up their first date.
Yeah, that happens. They do. So my issue again, and I started to like Oz a little bit better towards the end of this episode.
Yeah, they give him some good lines.
In that scene, it's just...
It
Oz
seemed honestly
cool.
like, I guess, since you pointed it out, it just seems so forced. It seems really set up, and Oz is too cool to actually exist.
Like, I just think that's bullshit, that line's like, hey, I'm thinking about asking you out. I'm actually kind of nervous about it. Yeah, like, that's... I think it's supposed to be cool and
it's
endearing,
like this whole,
but...
like, he's the most meta person in the world.
I took it as almost pretentious. It's like,
yeah.
Oh, I'm actually nervous about it. I think of you that little that now that I'm thinking about it, it's I'm nervous. Oh, crazy. It's not charming to me.
I agree. It seems like this whole section of the episode is really just kind of laying out where everybody's relationship's at.
Yeah.
So they basically set up Willow and Oz. He agrees to go to Buffy's surprise party that's still happening, even though she had this dream.
Which nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Jazzle, dreams are dreams.
Dreams. She's like, last time I had a dream, I dreamed that the master killed me, and then it happened. Dream shreem.
So it's your birthday. Who gives a fuck?
There you go. Let's get wasted, bro. So then they pan over to Cordelia and Xander, and Cordelia makes it very, very clear that they're not dating because groping in the broom closet isn't dating.
And she's basically embarrassed of Xander.
Yeah. Well, she also says, you're not dating until the guy buys you something.
Oh, I missed that line.
Yeah. No, I shouldn't say it like that. I think it's more like, it's not dating until you pay for something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she says that, and then basically it comes down to the fact that they realize that they're dating, I think, in that conversation. They're denying it, but...
Well, it's what everybody wants in this episode. That's the theme. Relationships or moving on with love or being in a relationship. So Buffy wants to take the next step with Angel. Willow just wants to date Oz, which they've been like teasing for several episodes now. Xander wants a relationship that he wants a relationship. Instead of just making out, he wants his friends to know. He wants to date her and treat Cordy with respect, or at least his version of respect for Cordy. And she's like, nope, I'm embarrassed of you. You have to buy me something, or how you said it, something needs to be purchased, or I don't know. I don't really get that.
Xander really seems to half-ass his way through relationships all the way through the series. Like, this is the first one. I mean, besides dating demons, Xander's kind of a dick to his girlfriends.
He doesn't want to really try.
He doesn't really commit. After that, Giles shows up with Jenny Calendar and shows you that they're still hanging out.
Yeah.
Nothing really besides that. They don't really like smooch or anything. You can tell that they're definitely spending a lot of time together.
It's kind of like, hey, let's put Jenny Calendar with Giles so you remember they're still all cool.
Yeah.
And then we'll move on to the next part, which is the reveal.
Yeah. Buffy tells them that she's maxi-wigged about her dream, which I really fucking hated.
Yeah, I think the writers probably did too, because they still talked about Wiggins, Wiggy throughout the series, and the whole maxi wig, they're like, no, let's not use that again.
Yeah, I think that was the last one. Even though this kind of points out the fact that Buffy was abbreviating words well before millennials ever started to.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Then they show up with Drusilla and Spike. I guess she's tending to him. He's in a wheelchair now. His face is all burned up. She looks emaciated but buff. Like, she never eats but goes to the gym three or four times a day. So they have a plan, and they're collecting a bunch of boxes, right? And she looks in a box, and we never get to see what she's looking at. They move away from her, and Buffy is getting ready for school. She goes to talk to her mom, and her mom drops a plate like she did in the dream and says, "Are you ready, Buffy?" And Buffy's like, "Whoa, my dream's coming true. God damn it. I'm all maxi wiggy." Then you have a random gypsy walks into Jenny Calendar's office. And you're like, what the hell's going on here, Jenny Calendar?
You don't know he's a gypsy at first. He's some random guy with a weird fake accent.
That sounds like a gypsy accent. It's like, my wife. You know, like he's like, is that a gypsy accent? That wasn't.
I don't know. That's Middle Eastern of Kazakhstan. It's like, my wife. That's the first thing he did. He's like, my wife.
Like, my wife. So he comes in and he's like, Jenny, what are you doing? He's talking about Angel and how some blind lady that feels what Angel feels that he's not suffering enough anymore. And it turns out that Jenny's job in life is to make sure that Angel's suffering.
Yeah, that's so weird. It seemed like a long time to build that up. It seemed to me that they wanted to have Jenny Calendar do something more than just be like... They ran out of things for her, maybe, after the first season or whatever.
Yeah, they kind of wanted to flesh her out and give her a background, maybe.
So they made her a gypsy, and the whole time she's not really... She didn't want to be a teacher, this and that.
Yeah.
She likes this. It seems like she likes Sunnydale and doing it, but her real goal is to make sure Angel's never truly happy.
Yeah, which is a weird job to have, but also one that I wouldn't expect to be so micromanaged. You know?
Yeah.
She has like a straight up like manager who came down and is like all like, hey man, you're not hitting your projections.
I guess no matter what job you have, there's always some asshole above you telling you how you're doing a bad job.
Yeah, pretty much, huh? So turns out her name's Yana.
I feel like we didn't even need to know that, really. Did we?
No, I mean, not really. Yana of the Gypsy People. That's pretty funny.
I guess I like that. I like when characters tell other characters their names, so the audience knows. But it's like, you're Yana of the Gypsy People. She knows her fucking name, dude.
Yeah, that's true. This also kind of points out a big light in her relationship with Giles too, though. You kind of understand maybe a little bit more of why she was standoffish after the demon thing. Maybe like she got really close to him They were about to like have intercourse, wink wink, and then the demon thing happened, and afterwards she was like, whoa, you got to think that this had something to do with that.
Like,
too.
I need to separate my...
Yeah, like,
this isn't my life.
This is getting crazy.
This is just a job.
I'm supposed to be making sure that douchebag is feeling some of the downers.
Feeling some of the downers.
Yeah.
So the gypsy dude, a comment that I thought was particularly funny, and only foreshadowing in my mind, when he says, like, Angel can't even have 1 minute of happiness. I was like, oh shit, it only takes him a minute to, you know, have that ending wowie surprise. And then he's...
super mega wow explosion.
Yeah, that's it. He just has awesome. A minute. Foreshadowing.
It's pretty much, I mean, every guy's first time.
It's not his first... Well, I guess...
It is. No,
I guess not. After how many years? Like...
Yeah,
I mean... Like 100?
Yeah, you would forget how to do it. It's not like riding a bicycle.
Do you think they cut out that scene where he's just apologizing to Buffy over and over again? Like, before he runs out, he's like, I'm really sorry. It's been a really long time. I'm just too excited.
They didn't show you when he's just like having sex with her and he's just like, baseball. Cotton candy, grandma. Are you okay? This never happens to me. So Giles wants the party to go on.
Even though, mind you, Buffy still tells him, like, oh, the first part of my dream came true. And he's all, fuck it. Or does he say something about, like, we'll look into it? And, like, makes a big deal in front of the rest of Scoobies, and then it's like, we're still gonna have this party.
Well, did they find out at this point what, like, Spike and Drusilla are up to? Doesn't Angel go, like, yeah, they're gonna bring back the judge, and he's gonna fucking kill everybody?
Oh, that's...
And then Giles is like, yeah, well, it's okay. Let's have this party. He's really changed now that he has a girlfriend.
I love the fact that he's all, there's danger every week in Sunnydale. And
it's like, when did you start saying that?
He like, just does not care.
You've never acted that way. So out of nowhere, Jenny ends up driving Buffy to the party. And this is ridiculous because the party ends up being at the Bronze. But on the way there, Jenny's like, I don't know. Giles just gave me this address, and so I'm just taking you to that address. They stop because Buffy sees somebody stealing something.
Tobias Funke.
Tobias Funke is stealing a box. Buffy sees him doing that and gets down off the car. Okay, so there's a couple problems with this, right? They're driving to a place in a car, which means that it should be kind of far away. Right?
Okay,
she gets out of the car, fights Tobias Funke, and then falls into the window of the Bronze. This ruins the surprise, and Tobias Funke and her get into a fight, and she thwarts their efforts and gets the box from them, right?
Yeah.
But why were they even driving? That place was like a block away from wherever they were before, number one.
Yeah.
And...
it's like she wouldn't know.
She wouldn't know where she was. And then not only that, she's fighting outside of the Bronze, going, where is this place that you're taking me to, Jenny Calendar?
How many times has she
been
like
to the Bronze?
Yeah.
Does she
inside,
not know how
outside?
to get to the Bronze?
I think it was really just an effort for the writers to put Jenny Calendar, paint her in a way that you're suspicious of her actions because of that whole gypsy scene where she's like, I remember, I'll do what it takes. So Jenny's driving Buffy, and Buffy's like, where am I going? And you think, at least I thought, I didn't remember way back when, but now I was like, oh, you could view this as, is she doing something shady? But it's still stupid that Buffy's can't recognize the back of the fucking Bronze.
Back of the Bronze, or just the fact that it's so close to where they were. And the whole thing is ridiculous. And when did fucking Sunnydale get a dock?
I don't know, but there are docks.
All of a sudden, there's docks with like cruise line, like industrial sized ships that can go to them. That's not like a normal, like everyday kind of dock. That's not like.
Let's, since we're on the subject, let's kind of run down what I've noticed as places in Sunnydale. So there's like 17, 18 cemeteries.
Yeah.
There's a park. At least one.
At least one park.
There's the high school.
The high school.
There is a warehouse where Spike hangs out.
The dock.
The dock.
Angel's apartment.
Yeah, which I still swear is like either above or below the Bronx. I think below Buffy's place.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Xander lives somewhere.
We haven't seen that yet, but yeah.
There's a residential area. How big is fucking Sunnydale? It seems like a small town, and then they have all these places. They also have.
Why does everything happen at the Bronx?
Yeah, they have a bus station, and they're also big enough city or town to have an airport, right?
Yeah, and later on, and they have a university, and later on they show that they have a beach.
What the fuck is it? Sunnydale is fucking huge.
Like, we're talking about a major metropolitan city.
Okay.
Like, this is. I don't understand what's going on.
So
here.
would that make enough sense that Buffy's like, where is this if Sunnydale's that big?
I guess that would make it more sense, but then when you hear people talk about it, you're like, well, where's the bad part of town? Oh, right next to the good part of town.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, well, this isn't making sense, but that's just us nitpicking, I think.
Yeah, but it's
fun to nitpick. So the fight ruins her surprise party, and the box ends up having an arm in it that's still alive and starts to choke her. They put the arm back in the box. Angel's like, oh my God, like this box and this arm, and this is really bad. And they find out that they have the rest of the body except for this arm. And so Angel starts making plans to leave Sunnydale and go to Nepal to, I guess, bury this box on Mount Everest.
By boat. That's why the dock comes in.
That's why the dock comes in.
He can't fly because it's going to be daylight somewhere.
Especially if he gets one of those night airplanes that fly at night. There'd be a lot of daylight.
You know, he would be fine if he just paid a little more money and assured he got the window seat.
Yeah, or just the same thing he would have to do in a boat and fly in like the under part.
He was just too lazy. Yeah, the freight area or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
That way you would only have to worry about 1 day's worth of sunlight. The way he's thinking about it, you have to worry about like 3 months worth of sunlight. Like that's just, he's just talking. It's not making any sense here, buddy.
It doesn't.
So they just put that in there in order to make it seem like Buffy and
he had to leave.
He has to leave. There's no choice. Buffy can't take off school, so she can't go do it. Which Jenny Calendar reminds her. She's kind of pushing for Angel to leave, even to the point where he's like, oh, I gotta go. I gotta leave now. And she's like, I'll drive you, which she doesn't actually end up driving them. No, she doesn't drive them. Or
she drives them, drops them off.
And makes them walk like a whole shitload.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. And if she was dropping Buffy off and Angel, she wouldn't wait for Buffy to say goodbye and then pick her up. She was going to make Buffy walk. Yeah. There's no Uber. Like
nothing at all. Yeah. And Buffy was not going to say goodbye to Angel, I guess, like I get on the dock in a weird way. I don't know, man. So before that, the party, you get to see Oz's first reaction to vampires.
Which is great.
Which was just the best delivery of the line and why I fell in love with Oz, which is, hey, did anybody else see that guy turn to dust? And that was just great. So it was nice to see him do that. And kind of the second thing they says is like, oh, vampires exist. And they're like, you need a minute? He's like, no, that explains a lot.
I like Xander's explanation when he starts. He's like, yeah, this happens, that Willow will fill you in.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So it was cool to see Oz, be, one of the full developed characters.
Or at least more charming.
Yeah, more charming and kind of giving him a place in the show that's not just pining after Willow, which is annoying.
Kind of
to
pining
some people.
after, like, in a very casually pining.
casually pining in a very forced way. So Angel knows what the arm is, and they go to the dock. Buffy says goodbye to him, and Tobias jumps down.
It's like a setup, right? The other vampires attack. Tobias goes to grab.
This is Tobias's last chance to get the box because Drusilla, at one point before this, threatened to eat his eyeballs if he doesn't go get the
poke
box.
out his eyeballs and
which
eat
wouldn't kill him.
Wouldn't.
There'd be another blind vampire
that we would never see again.
Yeah, just another one.
Because if you're blind as a vampire, you disappear.
Do you think they're in the back of the bronze? I mean, where else would they be, right?
I don't know.
They're at the park.
Hanging out in that back street that Buffy does not recognize.
Yeah.
That seems like a safe spot if you are a vampire that can't defend himself, because Buffy has no idea where the fuck that place is.
That was like the most grungy place. They're like, hey, let's have a surprise party for Buffy. Where do you want to do it? I don't know. Fucking that gutter behind the bronze. Like, what the fuck?
I more like the idea that Jenny Calendar was all like, oh, I'll take her the back way. That fucking moron will never be able to tell.
Buffy's just inept. She brings up like wanting to learn how to drive earlier to her mom, and her mom's just like, are you kidding me? You can't even pick out the bronze. When I drop you off at school, you're like, where are we?
Mom, where are we going? Buffy just has some sort of mental disability.
So when we get to the dock, you realize that Angel is wearing his long coat.
Yeah, I think that's the first time we see the long coat.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. If not, it's the first time we see the long coat that doesn't look maybe leather or douchey or weird.
I remember shorter velvet.
Yeah,
I've been waiting for this long coat for a while. Yeah, and I'm glad that he's over his khaki face.
Yeah, no more khaki Angel, which is just a travesty. So he has the long coat on. He has a box. I guess he has this arm in a box over his shoulder because apparently this ship he's getting on doesn't check anything at all. Like you can just get on there with an AK-47 and
you put whatever you want,
grenades or whatever.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. Whatever. I mean, it's all good.
There's some shady fishermen, sailors going to the docks in Sunnydale at the middle of the night.
They don't even check the list for the fish you can't fish for right now in this season. They just fish everything.
No fucks given.
No fucks given.
These fishermen.
So basically he puts down the trombone-looking box and starts making out with Buffy. And Tobias shows up, steals the box.
He gives her a ring.
Oh, yeah, he gives her a ring. And he's like, oh, like what was on it? Like it was...
it was a crown, a heart, and two hands, right?
Okay, and then the two hands symbolize a hand job. No?
Is that basically?
Yeah, the heart's the tip of his dick. No, I don't know.
It is upside down.
Everything actually was symbolic.
But to bring that up, funny thing is it's like a callback to that line earlier with Cordelia, where it's not a relationship until like somebody
buys you something,
pays for something, or buys or something, or gives you. That's what I took from Cordelia's statement.
Okay.
So Angel is giving her something, so it's almost like, oh, this is real now. It's just one more step in the whole, I guess, big leagues process of getting the big leagues.
There you go. I prefer a dowry. So Tobias makes out with the trombone, and Buffy and Angel are left to make out more because he doesn't have to leave now. It's almost like they let him take it.
Well, yeah, they let him take it, and then Buffy's stunt double gets tossed into the ocean river, someplace by the dock in a very comical fashion.
Yeah, in Buffy, sorry. And Angel jumps in after her.
He's all, she can't swim.
She can't swim. She's the Slayer. And she falls into the water kicking and screaming, and then like is just laying there on top of the water.
Yeah, she's
when
like
she
fine.
lands, like she gave up or something. Then you cut back. Tobias gives the part to Spike and Drusilla, and Spike comes in with the head. They put the head on the body, and Master Jr. is revealed to be alive.
Yeah, it's the judge, a new character that will judge all of humanity and wipe humanity clean or something like that. I don't know.
Played by a character that we've seen before in the first episode, Luke.
Luke, Master Jr.
Yeah, Master Jr.
It seemed the whole putting together of these boxes of body parts seemed very like Voltron or like Power Rangers-y
it was a
to
little
me.
bit, especially the way the boxes looked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's reminiscent of some kind of mummy or something like that.
Sure.
So he comes out of the box, he's blue, and he... That's, I mean, am I wrong?
You're not. He has horns.
So, and it turns out that he eats innocence or humanity. He eats humanity. So he can sense it anywhere. And the first thing he does is eat Tobias, which is pretty fucking messed up because Tobias just went out of his way to go get the last part of him to bring him to life.
I'm glad he ate Tobias because Tobias is a fucking moron. Why didn't he just leave and never come back? Sunnydale seems a fucking very, very dangerous
and also
place.
Now we've said it's also a very big place.
Yeah.
Lots of places to hide.
I guess the Hellmouth brings them all there, but Tobias seems like he wants nothing to do with vampire culture.
Yeah, he just wants to read books.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
like that he feels, he reads.
That was fun.
I was like, come on, writers. We all know you threw that in there just because you wanted you wanted that in there.
So he sucks the humanity out of him, which entails him burning up in fire. And the judge goes like, oh. And like, you know, he's pretty happy about Tobias being dead and sucks him up with a straw. And now Spike and Drusilla have their judge. Cut back to Buffy and Angel, and he is all like, get under the covers just to warm up.
Well, wasn't Angel and Buffy there, and they witnessed that part with the judge, right?
Yeah, before you end up back at the apartment with Buffy and Angel, they snuck back into the Bronze? Was that where they were?
It looks like, but the warehouse, the random warehouse.
Yeah, the random warehouse behind the Bronze.
Yeah, and then something...
They sneak in there and he can sense them because of their humanity.
Which they weren't hiding very fucking well.
No, they're just like right above him. So he just looks up and he's like, oh, I can totally sense your humanity. And they capture them. This was kind of pointless, right? They capture them for 2 seconds and then they escape.
Yeah, something fell on the judge. It looked like a bunch of old ass TVs.
Yeah, like they had 7 old TVs
bundled together for no reason.
Together on a chain being held by another chain. The Angel loosens and drops on the judge,
which in turn creates this massive hole leading to the sewer.
Yeah,
which I don't understand how that happens.
A sewer, mind you, that could fit like an angry militia of like 10 to 15 people.
Good amount of people.
Comfortably.
Yeah.
I would say comfortably.
See, you're amazed with the size of the sewers, and I'm amazed with how these fucking TVs broke through like cement.
Yeah, absolutely. Shoddy craftsmanship. That was the original Hellmouth.
Well, there aren't a lot of carpenters in Sunnydale, and spoiler, it's probably why Xander becomes
one.
Yeah, and he's like ahead of the fucking construction workers because they're all dead. Yeah.
I bet you the wages are really, really shoddy as well. They escape through that hole that the TV's made in the floor. And, correct. Then you end up in their apartment.
Let me say this about the TVs. They aren't flat screens. They're like the old school.
So they were pretty heavy.
Yeah.
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 At least there's that.
Yeah. So sewer, they get out through the sewer. It's raining. They're all wet. And then boom, at Angel's place under the Bronze.
Under the Bronze. He has no reason to leave anymore. The judge has already been created. And so he's like, get under the covers. just to stay warm.
I loved that. I was like, what an awesome fucking pickup line.
That's like that's
get under the covers just to stay warm. Like what?
That's a fucking Netflix and chill of 95, dude.
I know. And she fell for that shit. She's like, oh, good idea, Angel.
Yeah.
But she wanted it too. It was kind of like...
I mean, I think that the whole thing is, it's obvious that's what's going to happen. And so then she's all like, look at this, like, cut right underneath the bra strap on my back. And he starts taking it off and starts shaking like a 16-year-old boy because he hasn't had sex in 217 years.
And it is very like...
Like a Version by Madonna is about Angel.
And I didn't see this at the time, like how very like high school it was and how they're just all pretending. Like Buffy's all, oh, this cut here. She's a fucking slayer. She knows she's gonna be fine. There's even that
like, it already healed.
He's all, it's fucking fine, buddy. Pats her on the back, so good to go.
Turns out I'm gay. So they have sex, or they insinuate that they have sex. More smoochies, slurpies, and then Angel wakes up in the middle of the night all panty and gets fully dressed. Not just a coat, like Geoff said earlier.
His dingus wasn't hanging out of that coat.
I was hoping so bad that he was just going to be naked with just the coat on. When you said that, I was like so excited to see that.
Sexually?
Oh, yeah. Just wanted to see him rock hard. Okay. Like that after sex boner you have left over sometimes.
So he runs out, but this is after that scene where he's just apologizing profusely to Buffy for like, okay, just making sure.
I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. It's the first time in 217 years.
He's
you
bawling.
Can't even imagine that time period.
He's bawling, and she's like, "No, you were good. You were good." She's like, "You don't know any better."
Spike is gonna be so much better than me. So he comes out and starts screaming Buffy in the...
It basically has a heart attack in the rain.
Yeah. Right outside the Bronze.
Right outside that back alley behind the Bronze, so Buffy can not find him.
Yeah, right next to the dock. About a quarter mile away from the fucking beach. Anything else you wanna talk about this episode?
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to say what a big moment it was for the season in general. We're not quite sure what is happening, but in a way, this is like the climax of, well, I guess it is the climax of Buffy and Angel's physical relationship. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember. I assume there were shows like Dawson's Creek and shit like that where they dealt with teen romance and virginity, but I didn't watch any of those shows, so it was kind of neat to see this. Even though it was cheesy in a way, I wasn't exposed to this kind of television, I guess. So it was different for me.
This show was great because it had this, but then it would also have vampires. So that's a problem with Dawson's Creek. It didn't have anything but the
That's
smooches.
The only problem with Dawson's Creek.
Yeah. I mean, besides the fact that they got rid of Pacey too early. I don't know.
Is that a name?
That's a guy from the show.
Okay.
I watched the first season.
Okay.
And then I kind of realized, like, oh, this is bullshit. All smoochies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a major thing. I can't wait to... I guess I need to slow my roll because I want to talk about everything that happens next episode because it's major, but I can't because it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
So do you want to go? I don't know if there's anything else you want to...
What about the death count?
Yeah, let's do that. So let's see what we got. We definitely have, which I'm not counting, but I'm just mentioning, 2 angel deaths in dreams.
Okay.
But don't count. Figure I'd mention
2 angel
it.
deaths?
Yeah.
There's the one with Drusilla.
2 with Drusilla. She kills him twice. In both of those dreams, she kills him.
Oh.
I think one she stakes him and one she like slits his throat.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that one.
So Buffy kills 2 vampires, and the judge kills 1, Tobias. 3 in total.
All right. Nice.
Yeah.
It felt like more.
Maybe just because of the dream deaths.
Okay.
There was a lot of vampire fighting, and for the first time, Angel felt like he was actually doing a decent job of fighting a vampire, which is another first. I think it's the coat.
Right
on. Who knows?
Well, so we're going to do something different, right? We're going to start doing what we remember about the next episode.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about what's coming up next. What's the next episode, Geoff?
The next episode is Innocence, the second part of Surprise.
All right, which is episode 14.
Correct.
I don't know who directed that.
I don't, but we'll see if we mention it last time.
Okay, well,
I
we'll
assume
mention that next
maybe
time.
Marty Noxon.
Let's just
and
go
Joss
ahead and
Whedon?
say Joss Whedon and Marty Noxon.
Yeah.
Probably Marty Noxon.
Yeah.
And Joss Whedon just created by.
He's like, yeah, that I'm really busy. That looks okay.
That looks good.
Yeah.
Maybe not. We might be completely wrong. Maybe he's as micromanagey as the gypsy guy is to Jenny Calendar.
It's a possibility.
What do you remember about that episode?
So this upcoming episode is
The Return of the Smirk.
Yeah, because big reveal, Angel's evil because he fucked for a minute and lost his soul because he can never have happiness.
Yeah.
Not even for a minute, a second, which is huge for the rest of I think the next several seasons of Buffy, or at least the third, and then continues and is a major thing in Angel.
Yeah.
So it's huge. This next episode is huge to the mythology.
Absolutely. This is the cutoff where you don't have Angel anymore the way you knew him.
And that's what I really remember about this episode, how big it was to that. Other than that, I don't remember a whole lot.
I just remember all the scenes with Angel being a douchebag.
Yeah.
Like, he comes back, the big blue judge, Master Jr., is like, there's nothing here to eat.
Yeah.
And then he's like a total dick to Spike because Spike's in a wheelchair.
Well, then Drusilla's all like, awesome. And then
Drusilla's all like, what up, Angel Dick?
And that's right. At first, Spike's all cool. And then he's all, wait a minute, fuck you. Because he's rolling around in a wheelchair and Angel's basically trying to take his girl.
Well, Angel's, I think, just trying to mess with him.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing is Angelus never really wants the girl. He wants the depravity. He wants to make, Spike feel like a bitch.
Yeah, and he does so pretty well.
Yeah.
Judge is back, and I don't remember what happens to the judge if it's in this episode.
No, of course. You remember what happens
to the judge. I don't remember if it's next episode.
I don't remember that either. It might be 2 episodes. No, it has to be next episode. Yeah, it's the next episode.
Bazooka?
So we do know what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's just leave that as a surprise to next time.
Yeah, and after the only other thing I'll say about that, we get to see Buffy deal with the consequences of her actions, which sounds like a very heavy-handed way of saying it.
Of having premarital sex.
Yeah. So she gets to deal with this idea of somebody that she loved and had sex with not being the person she imagined him to be.
Yeah, having the person turn out to be a complete asshole afterward, which is something that's real true to life, man.
Yeah. You know what I want to say, Eddie, just to close this off?
I just called to say I love you? I don't know. What?
Close. Why don't you just get under the covers just to stay warm?
Oh, Jesus. Gilmore Girls, on the other hand, that's a show.
Never watched it. Well, I tried to watch the new one on Netflix.
That's no.
And I didn't. All the jokes were too fast paced. It's like da 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 da.
See, that's the only thing. It's like very, very bullshit. Like, yeah, this 12-year-old girl's gonna have like the mental capacity of a 46-year-old law professor.
Well, like we say about Buffy, it's written by 30, 40-year-old fucking law professors. But you made that comment, so it was just. I'm trying to agree with you, so don't shit on me for agreeing with you, please. So yeah, this is
our new podcast, shitting on you while you agree with me, with Geoff and Eddie.
I thought that's the podcast we currently do. Isn't that what happens?
Oh yeah.